You know, I don't think GMOD needs any introduction. So, unlike most YouTubers, I'm just going to skip the whole spiel about blah blah blah, GMOD is this and it's my childhood. And you know what, we're just going to get right into the core of this video. Today, I'm going to be talking about a map I had found in the workshop, Sibiru, TTT Sibiru to be specific. Originally, this video was actually going to be about 3 different maps, but I had realized that dedicating one to this map is probably the best thing because it is so interesting. And I can only really describe it as Silent Hill, Japanese horror, cranked all the way to like 300 bajillion%, because that's honestly what it is. And it's really fascinating. And it's probably one of the most interesting maps I've actually ever played on GMOD, and probably one of the most interesting horror things I've just done in general. So today I'll be talking about what I think about Sibiru and its deeper meanings and story. I'd highly recommend playing this map though before you listen to me yap, but if you don't, you know, that's fine. I'm the same way. I kind of just skip, you know, the part where they say, oh, make sure to watch this movie or make sure to play the game. I'm like that too. Whatever, you get the point. So yeah, I get you. Now let's get right into talking about this fascinating map, and you know, thank you for watching. So I'm gonna be honest, when you were probably watching the B-roll, one of the first things you probably noticed was the visual aesthetic. Now, it feels, I guess one of the first things that you're probably gonna notice, it feels abandoned and it is really red. Those are at least the first 2 things that came up in my mind when I first played the map. The color palette is overall warm in tone and is definitely complemented by the gory feel this map sometimes has, especially in certain areas. And the rundown buildings abandoned just kind of give this like old world sort of vibe, if you know what I'm saying, you know, like Kirby Forgotten Land sort of thing, and decaying game, State of Decay. However, despite the fact that this map is overall really red, there are certain places that are actually contrasting to that, which is the meat locker mainly, and also the skin room. I'll talk more about the skin room later, but you can kind of see why it contrasts with the very industrial feeling of the whole place. Now, even though you feel abandoned, there are still inhabitants. Now, don't worry, these guys don't bite. They're very kind. They're called denizens. At least that's what the game calls them. They're actually just Half-Life zombies, but they're retextured, which is honestly really cool. I think that's such a unique thing. I actually have never seen that in a map. They sort of roam around and kind of do their own thing. They don't really do much, honestly. Yeah, here, I'll even follow one in the B-roll right now. I do like their design though. They're straight out of Silent Hill, it almost feels like, and honestly, they really scared me when I first played. I killed all of them with my friend when we first were exploring, and I even got jump scared by one pretty badly, which I'll play that right now.
Secret painting required to complete the
It's getting louder. God, my God, that scared me. I'm so jumpy without you. What is that noise? I think with all of the elements of this map, especially later, which I'll get into, honestly, the design, color palette, and these denizens, it just feels so surreal. It's not like an apocalyptic sort of thing, because they're, you know, they're people, if you can call them that, who just sort of chill and do their own thing, and these weird big walls and this meat skybox. I really don't know what it is. All of this just kind of comes together and makes this feel really unreal and real, which is surrealism. I can't really put my finger on it. I just think the overall design is just really cool and unique. You know, there is a possibility that playing this map for a while has made me see a lot of things that I might be looking too deep into, but you never really know. I just think it's really interesting. And I think it's just one of the first things you notice too. It's just such a slap in the face compared to most GMOD maps, which don't really use color correction, but it feels like this one I think does, but I can't really say for certain. It definitely does feel redder than most maps, obviously. Anyways, on to sound design, which is a whole nother can of worms. So with the sound design, it's pretty distinct. Starting off with these soundscapes, there are a lot of different ones around the map. The first one you'll most likely hear when spawning in is this one. You could call this the main theme of the map. You'll be hearing it a lot, and it fits really, really well. It's very depressing and kind of gives off this, it makes you feel really isolated. It's really hard to explain. I don't know why I find it so interesting, but I really like it. However, I don't know where it is from all, like most of these songs and noises, so I can't really tell you where to go if you like listening to that, I guess. You know, no judgment. There's also the skin room, which has this heartbeat and again, I'm going to talk more about this room later, but without knowing the story or anything like that, this room is very freaky, and it's more freaky when you learn more about it, but you know, again, I'm going to talk about that later. It's just the visuals and the moving weird skin textures and the heartbeat, it all just comes together, and I think the heartbeat is really what sells it here, because it's completely silent other than that. And my friend actually spawned in there when he first joined my server when we were going to explore it, and he immediately got out of there and said it really made him uncomfortable and freaked out. And well, there's also other soundscapes. For example, this loud corrupted noise you heard when I was in that stairwell and I got jump scared by it, and also areas that are just completely ambient. I'll give a few here's one I think. There's also this one that has almost kind of a little beat to it with this ringing tone. It's actually really interesting. I'll play it right now for you guys. It all just works so well to create an atmosphere that works very well with the visual and style of the map, and I think it's just a huge reason why me and my friend were just utterly terrified at first. It's just so fitting for this psychological surreal map, and I think it's just very well done, and something that really adds a lot to how you'll be playing and exploring. Now that you have a general feel for the map, let's talk about what actually goes on, and the deeper meanings and symbols within. I'd like to repeat though that there are dark themes and it is disturbing, so please be warned, there are viewer discretion advised, whatever the hell they say. Anyways, moving on. There are 4 main points of interest and a couple places beyond the map, and also some like little side quests. The 4 main points are like the main quests of the game, you know, the main objectives that you want to complete. 2 of them are boss fights and 2 of them are puzzles. There are also cool little like side quests that you can do that really help build the story or enforce things that we already know. I'll start with the main quest things though, the things that actually matter and are the main chunks of the game, or chunks of the map I should say. So let's start with the first one that I did, at least with my friend, which was summoning a martyr, or summoning a dude named Sabiru with a martyr. I don't know how to put it. Basically, here's how it went down. You go to a weird place. There's a dude hung up on a board. You have to find his body parts. So once you find the body parts, which they give you clues about where they are, you can go and put them back together, William Afton style, and then you can enter a boss fight in which a staticky creature sort of thing attacks you, and it's called a Sabiru. And here's how that went.
Man, here we go. 3, 2, 1. This is Dude Perfect.
Yeah,
Welcome
yeah.
to Satanic Trick Shots.
Oh!
Oh, what the? What is that? What is that?
Run, no, get back, get back.
Oh my god. Not even EFP gun can instantly kill this guy? This is zombie.
Yo, that's the craziest trap I've ever seen.
Oh, I think these are all hints as to where it is. Yeah. If you look at this one,
Sabiru, by the way, is Japanese for something to rust or to get rusted. I don't know why these are called Sabirus, but if I had to guess, it's what is causing some kind of mental rusting or degradation. This one with the martyr, I don't really get at all. Me and my friend both theorize that this martyr is to spawn the creature, the Sabiru, that causes the rusting. However, we don't know why we're spawning it then in the first place. It's kind of a mystery. However, there is one other boss fight. In this one, you go around a playground touching a purple orb. And if I had to guess, that orb represents some kind of like childhood memory. And you also hear this toy boxy music in the background, which I'll play for you right now. So after you collect these purple orbs enough times, which will keep teleporting around the playground area randomly in different locations, you'll find one that goes and floats towards like the kebab shop, which by the way, you'll notice there's like people chilling in here. You probably saw it in the B-roll. They don't really do anything, so no, don't ask questions about that. So it'll go into the bathrooms and turn into a green Rick and Morty portal orb thing, and well, club.
Wait, we just
I can't kill that guy.
into this place?
The what?
Oh, what the heck is going on in here? We just spawned a Rick and Morty portal.
All right, Morty, let's go in. Oh,
What did
my game crashed. Okay, so assuming the game doesn't crash, this is what actually happens. You enter a maze called Chase in the files, and you just need to run to a blinding light while slowly getting your health drained and running away from zombies. But we had God mode on because we wanted to make sure there were no secrets, so just know we won't be taking damage.
What is where?
Just do SV_cheats, bruh. I think this is supposed to be like a maze.
Oh, the light. Go through
The light, let's
right?
go to the light, let's go to the light. Oh, it teleported you. After finding this blinding light, you're teleported to the playground again. However, this time it's a different version. Everything is distorted and there's this giant big ball of light in the middle. After passing a trigger, the ball of light turns into a Subaru and yet another boss fight ensues.
Look at this TV static world that we live in.
Oh, not again!
Pranked, bro.
After beating the Subaru, you get teleported back to the playground. Now, these two boss fights are more abstract in their symbolism, well, at least compared to the puzzles, but, you know, I'll just save what I theorize about them later for the summary and story synthesis, if you could call it that, I guess. Anyways, on to the third quest. This time it is traveling to the heart, or at least it's called the heart in the game files, which is pretty accurate, you'll see why. And this is where I would say the story and what everything is trying to lead up to really starts to make more sense. Now, you've probably seen this giant radiant ball of light in the sky a few times in the B-roll. You know, it kind of sits above the crane area. Like the green Rick and Morty portal orb thing, this actually takes you somewhere. It's to a place called the heart, as I said earlier. To get here, though, you need to move a crane to magnetically pull like a big red shipping container, and then you have to move it to the portal area for it to actually activate. It took a while, so I'm not actually going to show B-roll of it. I'm just going to show me and my friend doing it, so sorry about the bit rate. And it takes you to a very strange place. This place has paintings all over the place, and it's kind of confusing. You might be wondering why there's paintings. Well, it's pretty simple. You see, the puzzle is this. In the skin rooms, there are paintings. The paintings that are up in the skin rooms are the paintings that are supposed to be up in the heart. So you put the ones that are in this. You get where this is going. Put the ones up. Put the right ones up. You know what I'm saying. So yeah, you finish that puzzle. Wow, you're really smart, right? So the door opens and it lets you go to the like main hall where there's like this meat texture that will teleport you back to something called the nostalgic house, which is the actual name for the skin rooms. And there's also a locked door. Now, you need to do one more puzzle to unlock the locked final door, as it's called in the game files. And that's where the final puzzle is, where you kind of get where the themes are coming from. And I think a lot of more what's going on is setting in. So we're going to get into that, and it's kind of its own little section. So I purposely left this puzzle and this room in general for last because I think it's just very important overall. It's the needy puppy girl room. Now, oh god, saying that out loud, okay, yeah, okay. Saying that out loud feels way different than writing it. Now, there is a lot to unpack in it. There are textures of scalpels cutting through the flesh of this room, which is supposed to imply self-harm, and there are a few graphics on the walls as well. One of them has a pink gun and knife, and interacting with it makes a shooting sound. And there's one with a satanic symbol, which makes like, I don't know, it's like a satanic noise. I don't really know how to put it. And there's one with like some thighs and like, you know, it's not stockings, but it's like the leg. It's like the leg, the thigh strap. Yeah, it's like a thigh strap. And interacting with that makes like this hissing noise. This like very angered hissing noise, right? I don't know what to call it. There's also a TV screen talking about how some girl likes a guy and the guy likes the girl, and the girl's like, oh my god, really? And then the guy makes fun of her for thinking that he liked her. It's really weird, but it's something that I guess it's like manipulative and things like that. And lastly, there's a trap for the actual TTT game mode. And if you arm it and then enter the room, yeah, it just kills you. Who would have guessed this massive ass gun would have instantly destroyed you? It just slaps you in the face with that 50 cal or whatever the hell it shoots. Anyways, back to the room. This room, for whatever reason, really made me think a bit. Part of me, actually a lot of me, really understands this room for what it is. I guess just the imagery and a lot of it spoke to me very well, and I just understood it. I won't explain why and all that stuff, but it just really made me think, and I just wanted to, just say that, I guess. It just really, I just like the room, I guess. I don't know. Enough of that. The puzzle here is simple. You shoot the mirror that says "hurt me," and you go into this secret little room in the area outside the needy puppy girl room. And it takes you to the stairwell that I got jump scared at.
God,
and yep, another painting puzzle. Yay! Aren't you excited too? Yeah, I know you're excited. Anyways, these puzzles are different. However, a lot of them have like, you can see for yourself, they have like young girls in them, and like it just made me, like, looking at them made me really feel uncomfortable. I don't like them, man. I don't like them. I don't like them. It's just really, I don't like them. Anyways, you do the puzzle, which it took me a really long time to do it, but you enter the final room now that you've done all of the puzzles, and now you can enter the final room, and you go through this teeth, and then you're at the long hallway with the shaky trypophobic texture. You actually saw it earlier when I did it earlier for B-roll, and it goes in, and you go in the hallway. It's kind of like a spiral, and you eventually reach the teeth, this teeth texture, and you enter the final room. And the final room has a door with an image of a blacked out figure, or figure that is all completely black, that is touching a sleeping girl in a bed. And the blacked out figure has well, it's pretty obvious. And when you open this door, it takes you to a screamer of a color, like a face that's changing colors rapidly, and it tells you after that, this like little, I guess it's not really a jump scare, but it did startle my friend at first. It tells you, quote, "You can't change what's already happened." Now everything, I think, is really starting to click. I hope everything makes sense. We went to the heart. We went to entering the root of the trauma. We were delving into the mind of someone who is struggling. Everything we see is a representation and a metaphor, a symbol of struggle and trauma and someone's deepest problems. It's kind of like Silent Hill, And saying this really hurts. However, it doesn't even stop yet. Yeah, you remember those side quests, right? Way back in the video. Well, there is one. Well, one that really matters. That matters the most, I should say. And it has to do with the needy puppy girl room. It still does not, I can't say that without feeling weird. You see, there's a mattress with an Eevee and these little like hearts dancing across it. And if you actually interact with this, you can get a secret little scene, I guess. You enter what I can only describe as a mirror version of the skin rooms, and you find a mattress in the needy puppy girl room that wasn't there before. And when you interact with it, you see, well, find that room. So creepy. Oh shoot, where is he when I need him? Oh god, what is this? Oh. What am I watching? What the hell am I? Shoot, I need to reset the map after that. Oh my god, that is... Okay, yeah. What was I saying about this room? So if it wasn't obvious already, this whole sequence is meant to imply SA, but it's not from the victim's point of view, it's from the perpetrator. And, I mean, if I'm going to be honest, it's really one thing to see it from the victim's point of view, but it's another to see a very haunting video from the perpetrator's view, and it just really stuck with me, and I found it really uncomfortable, and it just really stuck with me. Now, there's one other side quest that we still didn't do that is not as important, but it definitely builds on to things, and it's where you put explosive barrels under a cannon, and then Mario style, you just shoot yourself to the moon. It's pretty crazy, but yeah, it's exactly what it is. And there's nothing on the moon, obviously, and I think the whole meaning to this is that even if you run away from all of your problems, you're still stuck in another kind of hell where I think there's like nobody, it's isolated, it's empty. I don't really know how to put it. I think that's at least what I interpret it as, or there's probably something else. I don't know. Theory crafting's coming up, so yeah, maybe we'll discuss there. But now we have finished all of the side quests and quests, and it's time to actually talk about what all of that means together in the big picture, you know? It's time to put it all together, and let's see where it takes us. So I know I kind of talked about symbols and meanings throughout the summary of the journey that you might take through Subiru, but I guess it's time that we fully take everything we know and put it all together, like William Afton style. Now let's take a look at the overworld. That's what it's called in the game files. I actually just never mentioned that. And the areas within. So I believe that this area, the overworld, like Silent Hill, is a place that symbolizes trauma and struggle and like psychological issues. And I think it's a physical representation of kind of the mental state this person is in. I've heard some theories about if this person is actually dead or whatever, but I think this person is very well alive, and I think this is a representation of their current mental state. And you might have noticed that there is a very heavy juxtaposition that is very also synergizing together, I guess you could say, between industrial and organic. You notice that a lot through the textures and also the structure. I don't understand that at all, but if I had to guess, it's just something that adds to the gritty style and doesn't really have any deeper meanings, with exceptions such as the heart and all that other stuff, of course. So with the general overworld out of the way, let's kind of move on to specific locations and events. Now I wanted to start with the playground because that's going to kind of segue a lot into what I actually want to talk about, which is my overall theories. This location kind of obviously, who would have guessed, represents childhood memories, as I said earlier, and the orbs in different places are like reliving said childhood. However, when it segues into the chase in Subiru, that's where it kind of gets a little murky. I don't get the chase at all. I just think that's there for tension. But the Subiru fight, I think I do have a deeper understanding, but it has pretty dark implications. My current theory of this Subiru fight in specific is that the Subiru here is a representation of the assaulter / bad guy, and whoever this is ruined the main character's childhood. Now it might seem like a stretch, but you know, when you think about the paintings in the heart room with like the young girls in really uncomfortable positions and you know their clothes and all that, and like how they look at you, like, and then also like you know the essay drawing and it looks like it's drawn by a child. You know, you kind of get where I'm going with this. It feels, yeah, this whole thing I think is just representing of a ruining of childhood sort of thing. I don't want to really get much further. It's honestly very uncomforting. Now with the needy puppy girl room, it's still hard to say that with a straight face without making myself cringe on the inside, is I think really easy to like analyze. It's simply just how the victim currently is now due to the trauma, possibly, as we see signs of self-harm and stuff, and whenever you try to touch the thigh image, there's like the hissing noise, and I believe that alludes to the don't touch me sign outside. I think it's pretty cut and dry to me overall, so yeah. Now, the one big mystery I literally just don't get at all is the summoning circle with the martyr. Like, I just don't get it. Like, this location still completely baffles me, as I mentioned earlier. You see, the word martyr implies that this guy, this crusty burnt dude, is dying, being sacrificed for a cause, right? But like, why are we sacrificing him? Well, we gotta summon a Subiru. But then why are we summoning a Subiru? I don't know, okay? It's literally a complete mystery. So yeah, that one's still up in the air for me. If you have any ideas, let me know. I don't have any ideas. Now, I guess it just really hit me, like, why are we even here in the first place? And I think the main reason we're actually in TTT Subiru is we're trying to fight trauma, and we're trying to get to a level of acceptance. And that's the whole reason we fight the Sabirus and go through the puzzles and get really scared. And I think that's maybe why we're just trying to like fight through things Silent Hill 2 style. I think that is probably a big inspiration. So, you know, if it's like Silent Hill 2, then it's like fighting through your problems. Probably. I don't know. I could be wrong though. I'm like stupid as hell. All right. So time for that big picture. You know what I'm saying? That big frog. So to recap what my theory currently is and to kind of put it all together into one concise little chunk is that the theory about Sabiru is that Sabiru is the map is a symbol or like representation of someone who had been a victim of SA as a child, and throughout Sabiru we see different allusions to this event. The massive creatures that the Sabirus are represent the embodiment of the perpetrator who had SA'd them as a child. Man, that is still so messed up to me, and I really hate saying that out loud. It's such a loud narrator voice, but it just kind of how it's just how it be. It's just dark as hell. And you know, I guess back on track. Throughout Sabiru, we fight monsters and stuff to try and combat the trauma, and also, I guess, for us, the player, the audience, understand where this trauma actually comes from. But no matter what we do, even if we fight crazy creatures with overpowered Arc-9 guns and do utterly disturbing puzzles and find out weird textures that really scare you, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you fight, all it says at the end is, well, you saw it for yourself, you can't change what's already happened. Now, this section is going to include all of the theories that have little to no basis and are pretty much pure speculation. Me and another friend drummed up a lot of these during editing and all that, and we've decided to add it in its own section because I didn't want to add these in the main chunks of the video because they would probably just lead to confusion as they contradict a lot of the points I made, and they kind of are convoluted and don't make a lot of sense in some cases. For example, I did not mention this, but the denizens actually fight the Sabirus. Why? Well, it could hint to the denizens being good guys. It really, yeah, it's gonna be stuff like this. There's another theory that my friend gave, which was that the denizens represent the aimlessness one can feel after a traumatic event, because they just have a tendency to wander around and do absolutely nothing. But it's also possible they do that because Half-Life AI is also, well, it's Half-Life AI, I don't think I really need to say much more. It's kind of stupid in general. At least the zombies can be. Also, the creator has a website, however, it doesn't really work, and so it's just a dead end, but apparently there are mentions of like the Yume Nikki birds from that game. I never really cared for it, nor did I ever play it. But I could possibly be missing out on a lot of information, so, you know, that sucks, I guess. And lastly, here's a theory from someone named DF Spectre, and they said that, so there's an image of a dead bird that says destroy established values, and they say that it could possibly be referencing to the door that is ajar that says a profane message about teaching institutions, and how this could be a message of like, that's a bad, we should destroy that established value. It's a really big stretch, but you know, more theories are more theories. This is all just sort of like spitballing and just seeing what works. So yeah, but that's all I really have. Well, I guess that wraps up the video, and actually, just kidding. I got into an interview with the creator. Yes, that's right. We can finally get some answers, and we can finally understand the things we never got to understand. I asked 6 questions, each one very intentional, as they were all the things I struggled the most with, and the creator had actually responded. Let's see what they said.
Bruh.
Well, I can't really blame them for what they said. I guess it is really just all a mystery, you know? It is interpretive art, you know? I feel like asking them questions for hints would have been kind of cheaty, I guess, in hindsight. Or who knows, maybe I'm just getting trolled. I don't know. Oh well. Yeah, can't change what's already happened. Which is, you know, what they said in the game. It just kind of sucked though that I did wait like a full day instead of just, because I couldn't release the video, but I did wait. I don't really care. It's not a big deal. I needed to finalize some things, but I did wait quite a bit for this in anticipation. Whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. You know, even if I never will be able to sleep soundly at night because I'm going to be thinking about what the martyr means, I still think Sabiru is probably one of the best maps I have ever played on the GMOD workshop. Even long after me and my friend had played it, which by the way, MSV Idios helped me out a lot. Great friend, helped me record stuff. He does his own videos. They're also really cool. I think I've even been in one. Just wanted to do a quick shout out because, you know, he's just a good friend. But back to what I was saying, even long after we both played it, we still could not stop talking about it as a map that we reference back to something that more maps should be like. We were playing this one map. It was Neighbor Nightmares or something like that, right? We kept saying like, oh man, I wish this was more like Siberia, you know. Oh my god, I wish it was so much more unique and interesting like Siberia, blah 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 blah. And we couldn't just stop talking about it because it was just so like fascinating and unique. And I really hope that more maps take a unique psychological like take on horror on GMOD, because most maps you will always see on GMOD that are related to horror in general are like supernatural. Ooh, look, it's a zombie, or like oh my, and like Neighborhood Nightmares is like William Afton, I guess. I don't really know. Not to say Neighbor Nightmares is a bad map. I hope okay, it might sound like that. It's not a bad map. It's actually really well made. It's just not unique. But most horror maps on the GMOD workshop are linear and always the same, and kind of just not. They're very superficial in their meaning. This is deeper, it's unique, and has a much darker tone to it, and you can tell it was made with real passion and love. Not like all maps are, not like maps aren't made with passion and love, but this one was made with some personal, like, real heart. And I think it's just honestly amazing, the map in general. And you wanna know what else is amazing? You sticking with me. Even if this video was a mess, a confused mess, utterly chaotic, it was very unorganized at times, it was super chaotic, I didn't explain things perfectly, you still stuck with me on my first true video, and I really do appreciate it. It does mean a lot that you're actually sticking around. I really hope you come back for my next video, whatever it might be, talking about realism, talking about, you know, other things, I really don't know, maybe talking about like Killer 7, who knows. I really just hope to see you in my next video. Subscribe if you want, like if you want, I literally don't care. Just come back next time, I guess. Thank you for watching. It really does mean a lot, especially because I only have like 5 subscribers. Thank you.